newzealandmusician.co.nz.
Welcome to our office, Aro,
Thank
Emily
you.
and Charles. How are you guys? Good.
Good, thank you.
It's the middle of summer, and you just told me something about what you've been up to until recently, and that is actually quite a fun thing. The campground.
Yes, campground tour.
Our second annual campground tour we just finished 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, end of January, and we were on the road in our van, which we live in, just doing gigs around some of our favourite holiday spots, pretty much.
Did you carve that out for yourselves?
Yeah.
I booked the whole tour, so we did 12 shows this summer. Most of them are at campgrounds, but then there's the occasional one that's at like a pizza bar or something else. But the heart of it is the campgrounds. That's kind of the communities that we're seeking to perform at over summer, just because it's always a good vibe, and our music's quite fitting for the family. The family package, I guess, the kids, the parents, the grandparents.
It seems to be quite a dream life, because a little while ago you wrote an article for us about being on cruise ships.
That's right.
So you've got that whole traveling thing, traveling musician thing down.
Yeah, it's happening, eh?
And I love that you do, because it's so exciting to travel around and be where people are on a holiday and make music for them and have a great time yourselves.
Yeah.
And I know you've been performing a lot over the last few years, actually. Have you ever counted how many gigs you've done as Aro?
Oh,
Shucks.
no, we haven't actually. That would be interesting to find out. But I'd say it'd be maybe around 200
So far?
in the last year or two.
Wow.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there'd be a decent amount.
So cool. That's just Aro, because you also have like Emily. Do you still perform as Emily Rice?
Yep.
Your
Yeah,
main name?
I'm just about to release another EP in the next month. So I've done a couple of shows recently with my friend Callum Lee, who I studied music with back at Auckland Uni. So we're going to be playing quite a lot over this next year.
Songwriters of the Year.
Yes, we were finalists. That's right.
And you've also got New Jungle Order.
Yeah. Now in JO we haven't done anything for a little while, because as you'll probably know, all of the people in New Jungle Order are also doing their own music full time. So it's been a little bit tricky to get time in this last probably half a year actually. But we definitely haven't given up on it. It's just kind of, we're just in a season of there'll be a time soon when we can all throw ourselves back into it, I think.
And for now, you've got Manu out under your band name as Couple.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a whole album.
Yeah.
But it's sort of jazzy, poppy, R&B, bilingual.
Yeah.
All sorts. How long have you been working on that one?
That one probably took, I guess the first hint of the inspiration for the theme or the concept was probably about 2 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer. I don't even think we were married at the time when we went up Mount Eden.
Yeah, no.
We were at top of Mount Eden, and I remember a conversation I had with Jason Tuhaka, who's my pastor. He did a Masters of Music in Waikato, and it was compulsory there that you do a traditional Māori music paper. And so through that we had a conversation about what music looked like for us traditionally, and it looked like listening to the environments and being inspired by the noises we heard, or our perspectives. And apparently there are like 3 or 4 different levels of hearing. That's a whole different story. Anyway,
No. Oh my God. If you can't nerd out here, where would you do it?
Oh, true. Okay, so this is there's the first one is direct hearing, so hearing the things you can see, or you're looking at. The second is indirect listening, which is like the things that are happening around you while you're listening to that. Then the third one is visual hearing, which is being able to see something move, like a leaf blowing in the wind, and imagine what the sound is, or be able to visualize what the sound is. Yeah. So and then the fourth one is being able to hear what you can't see or imagine. Like spiritual sense. So I don't know how that all ties in with Manu, but it all definitely contributed. Like for instance, the birds were the tui. We went up there, it played a melody, I just happened to have a ukulele and I imitated it and we started writing a song.
And the melody of the lyrics as well, the melody of the song was the melody that the bird had been singing too. So, yeah. But that song actually that was the first song we wrote and it ended up being the last song we wrote because we completely decided it didn't. Once we researched all the birds and found out that the tuis, because it was quite a pretty little song, it was a beautiful melody that the tui had sung that we used, and we just were daydreaming about, like it ended up being quite a lovely little song. Then when we researched about the tui and discovered that actually the tui is a really protective,
aggressive,
confident, aggressive, pretty aggressive bird, the song just didn't really fit anymore with the theme of the bird, so we just decided to completely start from scratch again on that one.
Well, most people don't know that anyways.
No. Exactly.
Yeah.
They hear it's like, really good song.
Yeah, I know that. Like, I would never have thought of a tui as like a, they're confident, but like as a aggressive kind of bird. But they're like, if you see a tui in a tree, there won't be any other birds in that tree because the tui kind of like it's like, this is my tree. That's why that's the lyric in the song. It's mine. It's kind of like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pukekos are quite aggressive. But that's a different story.
Yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, we didn't get to sing about that one, unfortunately.
all about the birds. So, I mean, I imagine if you stay in a van quite a lot and travel around the country, you probably do get to hear a lot of those birds right around. Did you actually do it like that? Did you listen to the birds that you encountered, or were you? Did you also go online and went, okay, this bird is quite rare, we haven't really encountered it much, but we would really like to still include it?
It basically always started, so that we pretty much, we wrote the majority of the album last year when we were on the road. In fact, the whole album, really. We kind of, that's when we decided we were going to write this album, was when we moved into our van in December 2017. And so, but the way that we wrote it was, because everyone's like, why isn't this bird on the album? And actually it was the birds that we heard as we went. So
we wanted it to be as organic as possible. Yeah, so if we heard a song that we liked, then we'd go about trying to find that bird if we were there. And if we couldn't see it, there's this really cool website called New Zealand Birds Online. Yeah, and they have like the songs of particular birds. And you can even look up like the type of like environment that they like to live in. So if we're in like shrubby bush, there's actually likes to be in shrubs and things. Yeah.
So we kind of like narrow it down and then figure out what bird it was that we'd heard.
And then
for a few of them, like some of them were quite obviously the kiriru, for example, but there's some birds like the mido and the tomtit, the grey warbler, and the riro. Yeah,
silver eye, wax eyes. Yeah.
There's a few that we hadn't really actually seen or heard before, but like down in the south, especially down in Stewart Island.
The bellbird, the Korimako. That's a beautiful.
Oh, that is.
Have you heard it?
Yeah. So
sometimes you encounter them around university and Auckland Hospital.
Really?
Wow, cool. Random little
I was like, I couldn't believe it, and my friends didn't believe me, and I was like, nah. But I've seen a kaka in Mount Albert.
Yeah,
really?
I've heard of some come in and like to places that I've
been. Chickens don't fly.
That is a funny bit.
Yeah.
It's a funny bird. Is that the one we saw on that Milford Sound Road? Was that the kaka?
No, that was a Kia.
Oh, Kia.
The kaka were in Stewart Island.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, so now you've got this. Well, it's not your first album as such, only with this project, right? But with this project, starting off a career under a band name with a concept album. Do you feel any pressure to follow up on that, or?
We have got actually a couple of ideas, kind of following on from what Charles was saying before with the. Well, it was
taking from our environment.
Learning
from our environments about ourselves, pretty much, or what we can learn from the environment.
So there was a speaker we heard at this education seminar we played music at to kind of start and end the night. This Dr. Ihi Heke was his name. Ihirangi, was it? Yeah, Dr. Ihi Heke. He spoke about the 5 different signs from the environment that we can learn from.
Or that Māori look to as a heads up for warnings or signs that something's coming. Things just as simple as like there's a storm coming or the season's going to change. Things like that. Yeah. Tides.
Yeah, when he said birds, Manu, we were like, oh. And then the other 4, we were like, oh, we could just write an album for each of these. We'll see.
And so we are. Hopefully the next one will be to do with the creatures in the water. So like we have things like eels, octopus, and some really cool stories about them, like about how New Zealand was found by the chasing of somebody's pet octopus, like things like that. But like and then helping them, like almost not changing them, but using that for inspirations to not teach a lesson, but like to talk about topics that that are I don't want to say hot topics, because I don't do things just to follow trends, or we try not to. But things that could help us learn about our communities, or us as being a part of a community, and what that looks like.
That always comes into music anyways, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you don't have to write political songs to write a song of your time, because you can't help but be in your time and influenced by everything around you.
That's cool.
So you had your songs, and who did you work with to get the music onto tape?
Yeah, so we'd recorded all of our songs in the van, just using our little bit of software that we've got, and then we came back to Auckland, and Vivek Gabriel at Gabriel Audio was the guy who we worked with, our friend and amazing producer. He really got behind the day. We could tell that he was keen, and his excitement and energy towards this new music was pretty awesome to be around as well. With someone else that you could just bounce off just as much as we kind of had been bouncing off each other. So that was really awesome to get to do it with him.
So did you work mostly with the recordings you did in the van, or did you have to add a lot?
No,
what was added and what was added after?
We pretty much started from scratch, because we recreated a lot of the sounds, and a lot of we wanted to, like, we were hitting wallpaper at one point, we had all sorts of weird kind of
the things that would capture
particular sound that we were
the vibe of the song. We were trying to go for. Because we had all the ideas written down or recorded, or midi'd into the laptop, and so when we sent it to him, we just did our best to imitate the ideas with real live instruments. Or so not even instruments.
And that's when we got Shane McLean, amazing Māori instrumentalist. He came in with a box full of all these amazing and creations that I'd actually never seen before, a lot of them all Māori instruments, and he would just kind of listen to each song and then have a rustle through his box and pick out another instrument that he thought kind of fit with the sound, with the song. The Kereru one's really cool. It's like what is it called again?
Which one?
The Pururihua. It's like this instrument that you kind of like swing around in a circle, and it makes a flapping. It sounds just like the Kereru wings.
It's got a droney. It's like. Oh, it's the Once Were Warriors. Like, not that this got. Not that this has anything to do with them.
No, it's great. Yeah. See, it makes me all want to. I wish you'd taken videos of the making of the album.
We do. We have them.
You have. Oh, because I would really love to. It sounds like an hour worth of talking about. What you've been up to and explaining, because it's really just, it's more than just the music. If you know about it, you listen to it differently as well. True. Now, we haven't actually fully described the sound as such. Like, if somebody's listening to this interview now and goes, wow, this sounds really interesting, well, how would you actually describe your sound?
Someone who gave a review, Guy Wishart kind of said, when he had listened to the album, he said it sounds like a world music album with R&B and jazz influences. It's got kapahaka influence as well from Charles's upbringing culture. Like there's poi in one of the songs, or two of the songs. But I think that's how we'd best describe it. Probably would be world music with a touch of R&B and jazz.
But then there's
infused in there.
Like, just because we're talking about inspired by birds too, I think we've had a few conversations and even a couple of reviews where people have suggested that because we say it's bird inspired, they're expecting tweets and whistles and things like that. But it's not a straight up and down. What we've done is taken the idea of the rhythm of the melody, or the melody or the song they sing, and figured out what key it was in, and then played chords to that. And sometimes that melody is in the lyrics we sing. Sometimes the melody is just a hook that comes out in the chorus. Like, it's not, because I think there was a song that it was not a song, but the idea of the album was compared to a song that I think actually has like birds tweeting in it.
Is that Graham Reed's reference?
Yeah. But he had some good things to say. He had some really cool. And even with the likes of like M's mum, my mum-in-law, she's had some really good feedback too, because we're listening to it from inside our little box where we came up with all these songs.
Yeah.
And so we, as far as we're concerned, the understanding of them is kind of a given, or if people want to know, they'll ask.
Yeah.
But we've also been approached being like, I think you should like explain this more because that was really interesting.
But then not only like the sounds of the birds, but the character of the birds and how we've kind of made it personable. Is that the word? Personable? Relatable?
Yeah.
I guess.
So it's definitely worth saying that when people listen to your album, they're not getting meditative bird tweeting and taonga poro. Just that. It's not that. It's contemporary. It's definitely
totally
contemporary and really approachable. And yes, it's world music, but not fuddy-duddy. Your grandma will listen to it. World music. It's stuff that younger people could actually get into.
And it's definitely got like it's a pop album in a way as well. You know, there's a lot of songs on there that are kind of catchy or.
Hopefully, there's something on there for everyone. There's cheeky ones. There's some nice like
sassy ones.
Some really nice. I don't even know if they're ballads. I don't even know what you would call it. See, even I struggle to explain some of them. I do know that there are some.
Just
fun
have a
ones.
listen to it.
Yeah, have a listen. Judge it for yourself.
Well, so people at home, I will link. I'll definitely put a link in to the album. So if you watch this on YouTube or on Facebook, if you look under the video, there should be a link. Which is the link you would like me to add? Do I just go Bandcamp or?
Yeah, Bandcamp's probably the best way for people to listen to it, but it's also
it supports us the most.
Yeah, there's the nationwide tour. We've got 23 shows booked. We've had one, so 22 to go.
Well, I'll put a link to that, and it's just if we mention too much about that, then people watch this in a year.
True.
And then
true. I guess you want to kind of keep it fresh.
Timeless. That's how I like to call it. Timeless interviews.
We've got our website too. That could be a good.
Yes, that's a great spot for everything, for all the time ever.
Everything.
Yes. Yeah. So, do you want to tell the people?
Yes. The website is aromusic.co.nz. That's got everything on there.
Awesome.
That you'd want to know.
Did I forget to ask anything? Right? We covered all the beautiful things about the show. Oh, I mean, there's so much. I mean,
there is so much.
There's so much. The artwork is beautiful. You know, I could go on and on, but I don't want to keep it too long. So what I'm just going to do is, I hope you're a little bit curious about the music, dear people at home, and you're going to check those guys out live at best, of course.
Yes, definitely.
And I thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.